Hey guys, Next Incendiary here, and in today's video, it's going to be a little bit of a short and sweet one. We're going to be going over the September 2024 PTB developer update. Now, this developer update is basically telling us everything that is going live and is not going live from our most recent PTB, including, but not limited to, the Skull Merchant rework, multiple perks, the finishing Mori. So let's just, without further ado, hop right into it. The 8.3.0 public test build has come and gone. After spending some reading through your feedback, we made a series of adjustments before the 8.3.0 update releases on all platforms. In this post, we'll go through each of them and provide some additional context. Now we are on instantly to the finishing up Mori update. Guys, it does look like they reverted a lot of things. Let's get right into it. They reverted the Ivory and Ebony Memento Mori offerings once again, and it will allow the killer to kill survivors who have been hooked twice. They've completely retired the Cypress Memento Mori offering. It's gone. As a dead note, they've received a lot of feedback about the changes made to the Ivory and Ebony Memento Mori offerings during the PTB. This came down to the loss of mid-match kills and group photo opportunities, as well as concerns that the Blood Point rework would encourage unfun behavior. With that in mind, we've reverted the changes to the Mori offerings. As a result, the Cypress Memento Mori offering is now obsolete and will be retired. We will offer 1 million blood points for any unused offerings, which you can claim by simply logging in between October 8th and 17th. So that's not too bad. If you do have any of those yellow Moris, you can still log in between October 8th and 17th and get 1 million blood points for what I would like to assume is probably a lot more than 1 million blood points worth of Cypress Memento Moris for some people, but it's better than nothing. Next, we have the Skull Merchant. Now, the Skull Merchant was under a lot of fire recently just due to the fact that a lot of people don't like playing against her. But then they decided to do a massive kill switch pretty much on her in the PTB. So let's see what all went through. New, the Skull Merchant gains 5% haste when a survivor is scanned within 5 seconds of placing a drone or changing its rotation. Okay. Change, increased hindered effect when scanned by a drone to 8 was 5. Increased drone rotation speed to 95 degrees per second was 85. Decreased movement speed while deploying a drone or inspecting the radar to 4.4 was 4.6. And fast faults are no longer detected by drones. That's sick. That's actually a huge quality of life change for survivors. Dev note, while this update is intended to reduce the Skull Merchant's strength, we received feedback that the changes may have gone too far. We've done some further tweaking and found a compromise between the old and new versions. We've also reintroduced the haste effect for a short time after a drone is deployed or its rotation is swapped. This will reward the killer for using their power actively rather than setting and forgetting or randomly gaining haste from survivors across the map. We intend to revisit the Skull Merchant in a future release for a larger rework. Understandably so, but at least they haven't completely gutted her. She does have a little bit of viability still, but will she be as viable as she was before? Not by any means. And then, something I'm very interested in is changes to Billy. Billy, when they came out with the overdrive mechanic, I hate to be this guy because I loved it. It was very overtuned. It was like when background player first dropped, it was just a little too much, so it had to be tweaked. And the changes that we're seeing is they increased overdrive chainsaw movement speed from 12, where in the PTB is 11.5. Dev note, many found that Hillbilly's movement speed during overdrive was a little slow during the PTB, making it feel similar to the normal chainsaw movement speed. We've increased it slightly, landing it between the PTB and previous live speed, which I respect that. I think that's fair. Moving on to distortion. I know there's a lot of distortion haters, but at the same time, distortion was in such a bad place with the amount of aura reading that we do have in the game and the amount of people that do like to play ratty, that it was fine, in my opinion, to find a middle ground to force people to, 1, get better in chase, but 2, still be hidden if they wanted to. The changes to distortion are they reintroduce the tokens. Tokens now recharge over 30 seconds while in chase, up to a maximum of 2. Dev note, many found a single use of distortion to be very limiting, so we've reintroduced the token mechanic. These tokens now recharge while in chase rather than being in the killer's terror radius. This will prevent distortion from hiding a survivor for the entire match and reward those who like to play well during a chase. Zenshin Tactics. New, survivors who drop a pallet have their aura revealed for 6, 7, 8 seconds. Change, reintroduced aura reading for pallets and vaults within 32 meters. Removed, and no longer reveals the aura of survivors near dropped pallets. Dev note, though rarely used, some players found niche uses for the original Zenshin Tactics effect. We don't want to stifle that creativity, so we brought it back. Constant aura reading around dropped pallets proved to be a little strong on the PTB, so we replaced this with a temporary aura reveal after the pallet is dropped. So basically, Zenshin Tactics has become your troubleshooter for killers. On the other side of things, I do want to say, if they would have kept Zenshin Tactics as is, you would have seen a ton of Zenshin Tactics, Lethal Pursuer, Weave Attunement, and Franklin's Gamers in the future. You would have. Because between the information that you got from Weave and the information that you would have gotten from Zanshin dropped pallets on a killer like Chucky, who gets to slice and dice and gets a lot of value from having down pallets and vaults, it would have been disgusting information for them. They would have rose from a B tier killer to A/low S easily with that build. Corrective Action was also seeing some changes here. Corrective Action once again turns missed skill checks into good skill checks instead of greats. New, when Corrective Action activates, reveal the aura of the survivor who missed a skill check for a few seconds. Removed, Corrective Action no longer has a range limit. So what they've done is they've made it so you can't just sit on a generator and get it for free with Corrective Action and Hyper Focus on your friends. The other thing they've done is kind of funny. Whoever messes up the skill check will be ratted out by the perk now, which is pretty hilarious. Dev note, we challenge you to push things to the limit on the PTB, and boy did you ever. Corrective Action had some strong combos, so we're moving on to a new design. Corrective Action will once again convert missed skill checks into good skill checks, and to make it more appealing, it will work no matter where you are in the map. This makes it far less dependent on being right next to someone when they happen to miss a skill check. Oh, my apologies, chat. I didn't even realize. It no longer has a range limit. So here's my question. Could I be walking around, enjoying my life, living my best life, be in the middle of a chase? Somebody fucks up a skill check, and I have to do a skill check mid-chase? That's really interesting. I'm excited to see how Corrective Action works. I might actually run it. And then our final update for this current PTB is Deathbound. They changed the effect, now ends when losing a health state. Dev note, with the Oblivious effect being removed only when hooked, Deathbound ended up being active for far too long in most cases. We switched it to deactivate when a health state is lost, but kept the other improvement as well. Which is super fair, because in my opinion, Deathbound, when they initially put it into the BTB with the infinite time that it possibly could have had, there was many combinations with Deathbound that would have made for a very scary survivor experience, to say the least. But all that being said, guys, that was the September PTB developer update. That is all the news that we have on the PTB and what will be going to live servers. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys are enjoying the content that you're seeing here, I definitely recommend you drop a sub, as I do try to upload as often as I can. And I do stream every single day over on twitch.tv/nextincendiary, so if you want to stop by and check us out while we're live, I'd really love to have you. We're currently doing a run-through of all the Resident Evils this month, so every second day I will be playing a Resident Evil game. In between, there will be DVDs, so if that's all you want, you can still come by and see it. But besides that, guys, thank you again for stopping in. Hope y'all have an amazing rest of your day and or night, and I'd love to see you in the next video. Bye-bye, guys.